The Vatican recognizes the state of Palestine. This is Skywatch TV News for May 14th, 2015. I'm Derek Gilbert. The Holy See confirmed yesterday that a treaty has been concluded with Palestine and recognizes the state of Palestine, switching diplomatic recognition from the Palestine Liberation Organization to a state of Palestine. Israel's foreign ministry says it is disappointed by this news. This formalizes a position that Pope Francis has held for some time. He has referred to the state of Palestine in the past, but this is the first legal document signed by the two entities, sort of making this position official. The timing of this announcement, just ahead of the canonization of two Palestinian nuns, making them the first Arabic-speaking saints canonized by the Roman Catholic Church. Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas will attend the ceremony on Sunday. Now, evangelical Christians a little bit disturbed by this news. Tom Horn, in fact, was interviewed by WorldNet Daily, WND.com, about this news, and he pointed out that in the book he co-wrote with Chris Putnam, Petrus Romanus, The Final Pope is Here, that Rome, while pleading the case of Palestinians and Christians to make pilgrimage to Jerusalem, actually wants to take ownership of the city of Jerusalem, and that there are high-level Jewish officials waiting to hand the city over. That would have some interesting prophetic consequences, as Jerusalem is also sometimes referred to as a city on seven hills. Meanwhile, President Obama told an Arabic newspaper that he expects the government of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to work toward a two-state solution. Good luck with that. He joins calls from other world leaders such as UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon and the EU's Foreign Affairs Representative Federica Mogherini in calling for a Palestinian state. Iran shoots at a cargo ship in the Persian Gulf. This news just coming in this morning reports that 5 Iranian gunboats fired across the bow of the Singapore-flagged cargo ship Alpine Eternity. No U.S. personnel on board. The Alpine Eternity evaded the boats by turning into the territorial waters of the United Arab Emirates. The UAE scrambled a couple of Coast Guard vessels to intercept, and the Iranian boats backed off. A shooting war in the Persian Gulf would be a bad thing for the global economy. It's the world's largest choke point for the flow of crude oil. About 17% of the world's crude flows through the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. Congress is debating whether to require all school children in the country to be vaccinated. H.R. 2232, introduced May 1st by Representative Frederica Wilson, that is, a Democrat from Florida, would amend the Public Health Service Act. This would require any state or local government that wanted government funding under the Public Health Service Act to certify that all elementary and secondary school children were vaccinated according to recommendations developed by the Centers for Disease Control. Now, exceptions would be made for students who had a certificate from a doctor indicating that a vaccine would be detrimental to the child's health. However, the school's medical director would have to agree that the doctor's opinion, quote, conforms to the accepted standard of medical care. The bill is currently in the House Committee on Energy and Finance. Just as Liberia celebrates the end of the Ebola outbreak in that West African nation, a new case pops up in Europe. A male nurse in Italy, who worked in Liberia, or rather neighboring Sierra Leone, has been diagnosed, and a man in Connecticut, who was also in Liberia recently, has been hospitalized in isolation with a possible case, although doctors say that other diagnoses are more likely. In the Middle East, fighting in western Syria threatens to spill over into Lebanon. You can see on this map it's a confusing situation, to say the least. On the one hand, the Syrian army fighting alongside Hezbollah against ISIS and the al-Nusra Front. Hezbollah has been taking some losses in the fighting, reportedly over 250 soldiers killed in recent clashes. The group's leader, Hassan Nasrallah, is reportedly trying to get the military chief of staff for Lebanon to send the Lebanese army across the Kolamun mountain and into the fight. According to the intelligence website Debka.com, experts believe it's just a matter of time before the fighting spills over into Lebanon itself. And from a spiritual perspective, isn't it interesting that this fighting would be taking place around a site so important in human history, at or near Mount Hermon, where some 5,000 years ago, the Book of Enoch tells us, supernatural beings called the Watchers came to earth and corrupted mankind. There are reports elsewhere in the Middle East that Egypt is preparing to invade eastern Libya. The Islamic State has occupied the territory there in Libya following the capture and execution of Muammar Gaddafi. Egypt's President al-Sisi wants to prevent an infiltration of his country by the Islamic State forces. However, Egypt is nearly broke and depends on foreign aid, much of it coming from the United States, to stay afloat. And apparently the Obama administration doesn't want Egypt to invade Libya. So for now, it's just a show of force along its western border. But while everyone is focused on the Middle East, the Cold War may be heating up in the coldest place on Earth. Scientists studying conditions north of the Arctic Circle report seeing submarines, surface vessels, and airplanes in areas where humans are normally outnumbered by polar bears. Why? Because it's estimated about $17 trillion worth of undiscovered oil and natural gas, about 13% of the world's undiscovered oil supply, 30% of the world's undiscovered natural gas lies beneath the ice. It's a lot of money. And so the nations who border on the Arctic Circle are making claims to the territory. Canada, Russia, Denmark, Norway, and the United States all claim parts of the territory, and some of those claims overlap. Now, the decision on who gets what will be officially made by a United Nations Commission set up under the Law of the Sea Treaty, or LOST. About 170 nations have signed on to this treaty. The United States has not to date. In fact, while nations are presenting evidence to this commission to back up their claims, Canada went so far as to claim that Santa Claus is a Canadian citizen. Seriously. Well, they should get at that oil while the getting's good, because we may be entering another period of global cooling. Meteorologist Paul Dorian writes that the sun is without spots for the first time in a long time. This could indicate a new period of solar minimum or weak solar activity. If it extends over several years, it would have a significant impact on cooling global temperatures. He notes that the period of fewer sunspots began over 20 years ago, which is when records indicate the Earth stopped warming. By the way, should point out that Tom Horn and Chris Putnam talked about their forthcoming book On the Path of the Immortals last night on Coast to Coast AM, hosted by George Norrie. You'll find a link to that interview on our Facebook page. Log on to facebook.com/SkywatchTV. And you can follow the link from there to hear the 3-hour discussion with Tom and Chris about On the Path of the Immortals. Now, if you missed part 5 of our 5-part special report about the forthcoming book, which aired this past Tuesday night on the Christian Television Network, you can see that now on demand at our Roku channel. In fact, you can see all of our past programs and these daily news updates as well. Just add our channel to your Roku account, and instructions on how to do that are available at our website, skywatchtv.com/Roku. This coming Tuesday night, we'll talk with Tom Horn about his vision for Skywatch TV, what you can expect from this channel in the months and years ahead, and how the work of Skywatch TV relates to some other ministry activity in the works. You'll find that out Tuesday night, the Christian Television Network. That's DirecTV Channel 376, Dish Network Channel 267, Glory Star Satellite Channel 117. You can also watch it live at the Christian Television Network website, ctnonline.com. And by the way, the Christian Television Network also has a Roku channel. If you have a Roku account, log on to your account at roku.com. Do a search through the channel store for the Christian Television Network. Now, their channel is not an on-demand channel like the Skywatch TV channel. It is a live stream of their programming. So if you don't get Christian Television Network via DirecTV or Dish Network, you can watch it on your Roku box in real time. And again, our program airs on Tuesday nights at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 8:30 p.m. Central Time. That's UTC -4 or -5, depending on where you are on planet Earth. And, of course, we appreciate your support here at Skywatch TV. It is important to us to continue this work. And for your gift of any size to Skywatch TV, we'd like to thank you with a free copy of this special hardback edition of Dr. Jack Graham's book on spiritual warfare, Unseen, Angels, Satan, Heaven, Hell, and Winning the Battle for Eternity. We'll send it out to you at no charge for your gift of any amount to Skywatch TV. To give, just log on to the website, skywatchtv.com. We hope you keep watching as we keep watch. I'm Derek Gilbert, and this is Skywatch TV.